Welcome to the China Angle. I'm Simone Gao. There are several important points about the coronavirus that must be discussed. The first point is the real scope of the epidemic, including the number of people infected and the death toll. Second, the safety of China's P4 labs and if the virus was in fact leaked from those labs. And third is the origin of the virus itself. Could have been created in China's laboratories. Today, we'll address the second point. Was the virus leaked from a lab? The reason this question is important is because finding the origin of the virus is crucial to containment of the epidemic. The virus must be traced and contained at roots. Otherwise, its spread cannot be stopped. Further, if the virus got out of the lab this time, does it mean more pathogen will get out in the future? And what is really going on in China's P4 labs? Does this pose long-term risks to public health, not only in China, but also the world? The Chinese authorities have made the following claim. The virus originated from a seafood market in Wuhan. The wild animals sold there carried the coronavirus. The virus jumped from animal to human, then mutated and transmitted among humans. They also denied there is any connection between the outbreak and the P4 lab in Wuhan City. That lab was the first to publish the genome sequencing of the virus. Recently, however, China's Ministry of Science and Technology released the guidelines on safety and management of viral laboratories. Further, on February 14th, Xi Jinping made comments about accelerating biosafety legislation at Committee for National Reform. But what does these comments of reform really mean? Reading between the lines is essential to decoding the Chinese Communist Party's announcements and policies. The more likely situation is that the Chinese authorities are orchestrating a cover-up. Had the virus leak not been discovered, no guidance on virus security management would have been issued at this critical moment. Knowing the leak might eventually be discovered by the outside world, therefore, to promote policies that appear to be addressing the issue as a means of covering their tracks. If and when the leak is made known, the party will punish a few scapegoats and continue to prop its facade of a moral high ground. If the virus truly was leaked from a lab, the next question that must be asked is, was it created in a lab? Right now, scientists are still studying the virus. The CDC announced on February 2nd that enough SARS-CoV-2 has been grown in cell culture to distribute externally. 2 days later, shipments arrived at the BEI Resources Repository. The BEI Resources Repository is affiliated with the National Institute of Health. It is a central repository that supplies organisms and reagents to the broader community of microbiology and infectious disease researchers. The research is expected to take several weeks. As a result, hardly any authoritative health institutions have published a comprehensive analysis of the virus, including the origin of the virus so far. At the same time, some old research papers have surfaced. The most notable one is by a Chinese virologist named Shi Zhengli, the head of the Wuhan Institute of Virology. This institute happens to be located at the epicenter of the coronavirus. Dr. Shi was among the first to publish the genome sequencing of the SARS-CoV-2 virus found in Wuhan. In 2015, Dr. Shi Zhengli's team published a paper in the British journal Nature Medicine. Their conclusion, as stated on the paper, is they synthetically re-derived an infectious full-length SHCO14 recombinant virus and demonstrated robust viral replication both in vitro and in vivo. Together, the work highlights the continued risk of SARS-CoV-2 reemergence from viruses currently circulating in bat populations. So what does this mean? Here's a little background. Different strains of coronavirus is being found in bats. Bats are generally considered the host of such viruses. However, the coronaviruses within bats cannot be transmitted to humans. Dr. Shi combined a highly pathogenic coronavirus from bats with the SARS virus. The result was a new virus that was more pathogenic than SARS and can be transmitted to humans. The article was highly controversial in the medical field. Dr. Shi and another Chinese researcher were originally part of an international research project to research the coronavirus in wild bats. Several American institutions also took part in the research. Yet the result was that this new pathogen was accidentally synthesized. The American government called the termination of this research because of the risks of the new pathogen to the public. However, we're not entirely sure if Dr. Shi Zhengli terminated her side of the research. But what we do know is that within China's P4 labs, such highly pathogenic, highly contagious viruses have existed. On January 23rd, after Wuhan was already in lockdown, Dr. Shi published an article on bioRxiv that claimed they have found a horseshoe coronavirus in bats that was 96.2% similar to the genome sequencing of the coronavirus from this outbreak. Dr. Shi claimed that the natural horseshoe coronavirus is the origin of the coronavirus that caused this outbreak. But remember, the coronavirus in bats cannot be transmitted to humans directly. It needs a middleman. So it happened that 2 weeks earlier, on February 7th, South China Agricultural University claimed that they found a coronavirus in some exotic animals that was 99% similar to the SARS-CoV-2. They claimed those animals, pangolins, could be the intermediate host between bats and humans. That is, the virus could have jumped from bats to pangolins and finally to humans. They added, the small sample of pangolins was not captured in the wild, but obtained from the institute. Of course, the institution was not named. With all this said, could it mean the coronavirus was created and leaked from a lab? Why would any lab synthesize such highly pathogenic viruses? These questions will not go away anytime soon. Thanks for watching The China Angle. I'm Simone Gao. See you next time.